Welcome back to you, Scrumptious Cookies. So the Bitcoin dominance is a very important chart. Many people don't pay attention to it, but you can get a lot of clues as to where the big picture of macro is going, all for crypto. You don't need to look at it every day. You just have to look at the obvious. What does this look like to you? Does this look like something's been going up or down over time? Clearly, the answer is anti-up, otherwise known as down. We've been going down. Now, a trick, a secret, which for some reason not everybody knows, is this Bitcoin dominance. So this is Bitcoin dominance. You can see the scale, right? It's how big is Bitcoin as a percentage of the total crypto market. And you can see that it's been going down. It's been getting absolutely clobbered. But, a secret, which I wish everybody knew, I keep telling everyone, but just nobody understands, is this. This Bitcoin dominance is literally just the inverse of ETH BTC. So it's the inverse of the Ethereum versus Bitcoin chart, right? So you remember that chart that was going down? Yeah, well, you can just right click here and go to invert. You're like, oh, wow. You can change it to a log chart, linear chart, doesn't matter, right? You get look like, what the hell? It looks exactly the same. Let's go have a look at this. You remember this chart? Remember my big line going down? Right, we can draw it down. It's the same thing. Let's go back to the Bitcoin dominance chart, right? You can actually see it. I'll put it here, BTC.D, right? It's the same thing, friends. Actually, we'll go back to the tweet. Look at this. So, yes, see? Chart's going down. And come back here, going down as well. So that's really what's been going on. It's Ethereum has been gaining on Bitcoin. So I don't like looking at that Bitcoin dominance chart just by itself like that. The real chart I want to look at is ETH BTC, because ETH BTC, okay, we don't want to put it on a regular chart, and we don't want to invert it, okay? The ETH BTC is the risk on indicator for crypto, risk on. But things have been changing. The liquidity between Bitcoin and Ethereum is so big. It's very hard for Ethereum to disconnect the way it used to. Look at these big bubbles that Ethereum used to have. You can see it here, right? Back in the day, back in the early big Ethereum days, and of course this would happen because Ethereum was not a blue chip back then. It just launched, right? Huge bubble in 2017. But now, if you look at how it behaves, in the bear market of 2018, 19, 20, you see this box. Have a look at what it does now. It also just moved to a higher box. Compare those big boxes to these giant bubbles. Okay, look at this bubble, parabola and pop, parabola and then pop. But now we're in the box zones. So it behaves differently. You know, it's also interesting. You can go to livecoinwatch.com. It's a coin ranking site, but it shows you the liquidity. And have a look at this, okay? To move Bitcoin 2%, you need $900 million up and down. Okay, so basically divide it by 2 to move it up. Okay, just one side. It's $900 million for the bid and the ask. You just want to know what's on the ask. So $450 million would move Bitcoin up 2%. Look how close Ethereum is. It needs $820 million, which is interesting because Ethereum is only like 1/3 of Bitcoin's market cap, or about 40% of it. So it's really thick. It should be half this size. It's very interesting, right? So this explains why Ethereum's chart has been doing this. Because now that you've seen the liquidity up here, super thick. Now, if you were to say to me that you don't know this chart, I would have just guessed, instead of $450 million for Bitcoin, if you told me 450 for Bitcoin, I would think it's only $150 million for Ethereum. But actually, it's $400 million. So instead of 150 million, there is actually, right, 450 million for Ethereum. You know, we can actually click through and you can see. It's very interesting to see. You can observe and see. See, you got the asks, 420 million. You can see it right here. That's very thick. And you're wondering why, and I'm wondering why too, but it must be that Ethereum is just really in demand. It's very interesting because the liquidity in Ethereum, it's almost like the market is saying it should be priced much higher than it is today. It's just waiting for the bull market. So you can interpret this any way you want. It could be because there's a lot of stable coins, there's a lot of arbitrage. It could be that too, you know, because there are a lot of altcoins, there are a lot of DEXs, there are a lot of crypto decentralized coins out there, and you might see a lot of liquidity out there for Ethereum just because a lot of people want to arbitrage around. But this could also be the market telling us a signal that, hey, Ethereum shouldn't be this cheap, which is very interesting. This is how I interpret it. I think, wow, Ethereum, the market's giving Ethereum this juicy liquidity. I wonder where it really wants to be. You see this dashed line? This is if Ethereum flips the size of Bitcoin. That is Ethereum becoming #1 rank, not #2. All right, so you can go to the page, you actually see it, right? So if Ethereum became #1, you would see ETH BTC up here. Now, you don't know the US dollar price, but the ratio is all that matters. It's how much bigger is the Ethereum price versus Bitcoin. So at this point, 0.16 means Ethereum is 16% of Bitcoin's price. So, you know, you'd tell me if we flipped Bitcoin when it's $80,000, then you would just do 16% of $80,000 and you would find the Ethereum price, 12,800. I wonder if that's actually what happens in the next bull market. Very interesting. Or maybe it never gets to flipping. Wouldn't it be kind of crazy? It is a crazy contrarian view, by the way, right now. Wouldn't it be crazy if we never actually flip? Wouldn't it be nuts if we just move to a third step and then we only flip it in the final cycle at the end of the decade? That would be something to think about and ponder. You know, you see how we move with his deep liquidity. You see how we moved up and down. We bear market. Right. By the way, I went all in on Ethereum here. As soon as I found out about Ethereum, within 3 hours, I just knew, okay, this thing's on a freaking moon. Right. It's crazy. Everybody called me an absolute dum-dum. I was actually in shock by how much backlash I got. And I was just in Discord and random Telegrams. I didn't know what I was doing. Okay. And a lot of people couldn't get it. They just could not get it. And I would, you know, I'm talking to people and I'm trying to explain my view because you don't know what you're doing. You have no idea. You're just talking to people, trying to share openness, friendship, and a lot of people just be like, scam, stupid, I don't see it, it means nothing. And I just could not figure out why. But now, obviously, I know why. All they were seeing was red. They're going, it's down 90%, it's stupid. That's all they were seeing. So they completely disregarded my thesis, completely. Now, I thought we were going to go parabolic much higher than this. This is what I actually thought would happen. I thought we'd go like this. But we didn't. We're just moving up in these steps. It is what it is, all right? So maybe the next step is we move out sometime this year and we just start moving to the next block. And then Ethereum now trades under a flippening, you know? This could be a trap, by the way, friends, because I'm looking at this right now on a linear chart. Let's change it to a 2-week chart. These are 2-week candles. So I could definitely see this. Just imagine what happens. Ethereum gets up here. When it's green up there, everybody's going to be calling for a flippening. Everyone. They're going to be saying, flippening. Flippining's coming. Flippining's coming. Look how fast we're moving. We're burning all the coins. Ethereum's being burned. EIP, the merge. All those are happening. I can see a big fat booby trap forming. You know, what price would this be if we got here? It'd be like 14%, you know? So maybe, I don't know, maybe Bitcoin is like 88,000. Yeah, mate, well, that's crazy if Ethereum hits there. Absolutely nuts if we actually hit that high, 12 to 13,000. You know, if Ethereum hits to this price, Ethereum gets up here, we are super bullish for our altcoins. We're really bullish. Now, there will be a trap still formed, most likely at some point, but this would at least give hope and give life. But I want you to know as well, look at this, man. Like, this hurts, friends, all right? So you see this move. This was 2021, right? You see this move. This was 2021. I'm going to show you the distance Ethereum moved in this bull, okay? It's pretty good. It's about 100 to 150%. If we do that same move, 100 to 150%, you get under a flippening, at a flippening, or above it. But you're assuming that there's no diminishing returns at all. You're assuming the next wave of people are going to be more excited or as excited about Ethereum in the third cycle compared to its first two. This is a harsh reality to swallow because, I mean, look, if I put on a log chart, you get to see the real gains, the real Ethereum gains of the first ones. You know, this is why you get compensated for the risk you take. You know, in the first one, you get 30x on your Bitcoin. What about this one? You only get a 3x, 4x. This is a 4x, friends. That hurts. You go from a 30x down to a 4x. What's going to be the next one? A 2x? That would be about here. So plus 100% is a 2x. So it would put us at about 0.137. I'm feeling with these diminishing returns, that we kind of land under a flippening in the next cycle, which is very harsh to deal with. And then maybe only at the end of the decade, so this one will be another cycle. This will be 2028 halvening. This might be the next one, right? Imagine that happens, friends. That would be absolutely disastrous if that happens. And then we come back, we actually flip it finally after, wow, so long. Imagine that happens. That'll be actually what traps everybody. Okay, but this one would be the ultimate gargantuan trap. Because here it's possible as well. What if Bitcoin is $65,000, right? What if Bitcoin's $65,000 and Ethereum ETH-BTC hits 0.125, which is about here, okay, which is about exactly the tip of this arrow. What if that happens? I've just done the number for you. Ethereum hits at about 8,000, right? So maybe Ethereum pushes 8, 9,000 and it can't hit 10 and it comes down. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to see the future. I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of everybody in the future and what numbers do they want to see. And the beautiful part is people talk a lot. Right now there are Ethereum and Bitcoin maxis and they reveal their hands out to everybody. But what they don't know is the evil ones, the puppeteers, the people behind the curtains, the IMF, everyone in between, even the lizard people, once you have told them your wonderful, sweet round number targets, now you're cursed. You've put a curse on yourself. We all know that the Bitcoin target is going to be 100K. We all know that the Ethereum target is 10K. That is the line in the sand. Not a single Bitcoin maxi can even entertain the thought that Bitcoin won't hit $100,000 in the next cycle. And not a single Ethereum maxi will entertain the thought that it will land under $10,000. Not one of them. They are so convicted. You can feel it in their bones. You can smell it in their bones. I watch a lot of them on their YouTube, on their Twitter. It's so obvious, man. Go look at all the biggest fundamental analysis, Excel sheets, cash flow, all these. The numbers are huge. And I used to have those numbers. That's how I know. But now I think I'm ahead of the game of them. And that's why I'm sharing this with you. This is powerful information we get to share. Maybe we're actually ahead of the crowd now. And unfortunately, our targets are too high if we are in the la-la land with them. So I think Bitcoin and Ethereum will trap the most people of all. Everybody's going to get geared for round 2 and they're going to realize these blue chip assets are going to give you a blue chip return, which means, yeah, you don't go to zero, but you're going to wish that you did leverage and all the other high stuff beforehand. That's what you're going to wish, right? When you see that it doesn't fulfill your dreams, okay? Now, this is super important to understand because the Bitcoin dominance, you can see over time the Bitcoin dominance has been sinking. And like I said to you, it is the inverse of ETH-BTC. Okay, so it's just, if Bitcoin dominance going down, it's most likely that Ethereum is just gaining on it. Maybe this something like this happens and it moves down to a lower region. This indicator will get, it's less significant over time, okay? This indicator is pretty much completely insignificant now. I like looking at it just for kicks, but it actually is one of the most useless things you could do to try and get an edge, because right now, the edge in crypto has nothing to do with Bitcoin and Ethereum. It has nothing to do with large cap altcoins. Nothing. You all know it. We all know it, right? The edge in crypto is in bursting new network effects. That's where the edge is. And it's going to be around the new technology that may or may not come in 2024, because there's a new tech wave every 4 years in crypto, right? 2012, 2016, 2020 was the DeFi, Compound, all those things, the DeFi, DEXs, you had Uniswap. Okay, so that was 2020's one. 2024, we don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to be something. And when this comes, that's probably where the edge is actually going to be. It has nothing to do with these top 100 coins. It has nothing to do with these. Unfortunately, all of them are going the way of the dodo. There's nothing there. We're going to have to find something new. Now, you might even wonder, you go, hey, but don't you hold ChainLink? Yes, hold ChainLink while I can see everything else being poop. Maybe something else appears where the use case is so gargantuanly big and we can get in early. Maybe, you know, it's getting harder and harder to even dream of such a scenario because, you know, even in crypto, it doesn't work so easily. I mean, people buying Pepe, but they won't entertain the thought of even trying to buy Tron, for example. You know, they see it right here. People will rather buy Pepe up 300,000x than even put a single dollar into Monero because Monero is old to them. That's it. The game is morphing. The game is changing. All right. So you're looking at this and you think, okay, well, what do we do? Well, Bitcoin dominance goes down over time. That's just it. Bitcoin was shilled by Elon Musk. The most popular man on earth put it on Twitter. The most popular man on earth bought it. You know, that was a dream scenario when you think about it. It's like you got the most popular man on earth, the guy literally building rockets to go to Mars, and he bought it. And he told everybody he bought it and he said he liked it. You got everybody in. That's it. Everybody who came across Bitcoin who would have bought has now bought. All right. So the Bitcoin maxis, that crowd, they are still clinging on to hope for the final wave of the technology adoption curve, okay? They all think they're here. They all think they're visionaries, but they're not, all right? They're not visionaries. They think they're visionaries. They're not, okay? They are at the late majority. All that's left is skeptics, okay? You know who's skeptics? Government, Bitcoin spot ETF, countries. They are the skeptics, okay? They are the final wave. You are a visionary and you're a founder and you are an early tech innovator if you get anything to the left here. This is super risky. It doesn't sound nice. You know, I can name you some coins where everybody says, wow, this thing's a complete scam. Yeah, exactly. That's what Bitcoin was like, right? So many people don't want to listen, but that's all right. That's why not everyone can win, okay? So it really is a pyramid. The people who dare to go to the unknown, the people who are brave enough with the courage to go there and brave enough to hold and to withstand the onslaught of soy boys and soy drinkers and everything in between, if you're able to withstand them, you make it to the end, you get the parabolic gains. That's how it works. And everybody who wants to join the crowd and who wants to believe that they're still early, then they will get the returns they deserve. They'll get the diminished returns. They will get government returns, right? Governments don't come and just FOMO buy everything. But that's the one narrative that people in the camps will want you to believe because, hey, they're in Bitcoin from $1,000, man. They're in at $500. You know, I bought it at what, 3,400, went gigalong at the lows. So I was buying 3.5, 4, 5, 6, whatever, back in 2020, 2019, at the end of 2018. But there are people who are long, they're laughing, me buying 3,400. There are people who are buying it at $100. At $300, I was buying their 1,000% return. You know, I was already buying their 10x. Now, just imagine, but this was 3,400. If you're buying Bitcoin at 30K, which is around where we are, you are buying their 100x bag. Of course, they're going to dress up the best narratives. Of course, they're going to tell you you're still early. The government's going to FOMO buy. Everyone's going to print money and they want to get in on Bitcoin. There's not enough to go around for everybody. Of course, they're going to say that, you know. But you can't argue with the evidence. The evidence is we've been around for 14 years. Everybody knows about it. Everybody's heard about it. And it just ain't so cool anymore. That's it. Just get over it. You know. So you're going to have to deal with this reality. And also, it might kind of creep in to the Ethereum camp too. But that's going to be a story for another time, okay? So this Bitcoin dominance, it's not the be-all and end-all, but it's telling us what's going on. It's telling us Ethereum keeps gaining. The people demand the Ponzi's. They demand the gaming, the metaverse, the JPEGs. They demand the new stuff. People don't like to just sit on things. They don't just like to sit there and do nothing. People want new things to go on, right? They want to do stuff with their money. They want to borrow, lend. They want it to impact their life. Retailers, which is normies, they want utility. Which is funny because the absolute best way to use your money is to store it. Store of value. That's the whole meme, but people actually don't want that. It's like you give them the best store of value and now that it slows down, they want something else. But you can't blame them because you're like, hey, what happened to the sick gains of Bitcoin? You know, it's very harsh to see this, friends, but this is just what's going on. Okay, so now you see this. What do you actually do? Well, most likely, if you've been listening, you can do what you want, but I'm just telling you, like, if this ETH BTC plays out the way it has, then you might think, oh, does that mean Ethereum's good? Nope. No, this is shocking for Ethereum. For Ethereum to only go up 80% against Bitcoin and then come back so that's only up 30%, you're wasting your time, okay? You spent 3 to 4 years to make 80% on Bitcoin, that's garbage. Because if Bitcoin does a 3x, you're going to do 1.8 times 3. Wow, you made a 5.5x. Woohoo! woo, congratulations, you know. Unless your clip is $500K, $500,000, you're wasting your time, man. How much are you going to make? 4 years, we give you 4, 5x. You might say, hey, 5x is a lot of money, yeah. But you know, in crypto, we can also do this, right? You know we can go to zero, yeah. So if you're going to take the risk that you're going to zero, then you better be compensated for the upside. So that's the truth. That's the truth here, okay? So that's why I'm not saying, okay, everything's bad, a 3x or a 2x is bad. It's not bad. It's just that crypto is such a freaking scam and a casino, and everybody, and the liquidity is so thin, and the government's trying to take you down, and there are so many evil, weak people out there, and there are paper hands everywhere trying to get you to sell the money. It's one big game. It's just a colossal fest. It's just rat infestation everywhere in crypto. Everybody's trying to lose your money. You're like, wow, I painted a very bleak picture here. That's right. Well, it better be worth it. It's like you see the island in the distance, and you see all the sharks there. You see, man, there better be something good on this island. There better be like the Fountain of Youth. There better be the Ark of the Covenant. There better be some miracles going on. There better be a lot of fluffy slippers hidden on that island for me to cross and swim through those sharks. But that's the same thing in crypto. Yes, we can wake up one day, we're down 70%. You're down 80%, and that's just the beginning of the next 4 to 5 years of mental anguish, you know? So this is how you have to think about it, friends. How much do you think the upside is worth for every unit of risk? You know, some people, that's okay. You want to sleep knowing that, hey, you know, at least Bitcoin and Ethereum, they're still around in 4 or 5 years. That's okay. But you got the rose-tinted glasses on, because if Bitcoin and Ethereum do what I think they're going to do, which is curse everybody, then you regret not taking this seriously, okay? You regret not joining in and like, hey, I better take this seriously, because this competitive edge, it's dwindling away, and it will dwindle away fast, right? Because we have so many evidence from every other cycle that that's exactly how it goes and how it will continue to go. Diminishing gains and more traps, because there's less money to go around, but more mouths to feed. Like, subscribe button, or catch you in the next one, friends.